absolutely loved my time working at law firms. I was very comfortable working with attorneys and working in the administrative support side of things. But one of the things that I can admit is that law firms have very antiquated ways of operating. Anyone who has ever worked at a law firm would probably agree. So, to be on the winning side, they have to adopt change. That means getting ahead of current technology and also effectively utilizing their resources. Time for me to get candid here. So, some years ago, I had a very good conversation with a very important person who is still important to me in my life today. And we were just talking about some of the things that I experienced in corporate settings. I was having a very challenging time working in some toxic environments, and I confided in this person. He was uh, like a therapeutic type of counsel to me. He would tell me, here are some additional books that you could read about leadership and swimming with the sharks and office politics, things that you can do to kind of navigate the environment a little bit different. So it's not as stressful. Now, of course, I've gone through a lot of changes in my career. I am now a business owner and remember some of the things that I experienced in some organizations, which is the reason why I actually established my business in as an ombuds and as a workplace mediator. But I told him, I remember that you mentioned to me a couple of decades ago this one book, and I just remember the title of it. And he said, "Oh, that's a great book. I'm surprised you haven't read it already." So I bought the book on as an audiobook. I'm so glad that I made that decision because the narrator for that book was incredibly fascinating. Since then, I have been able to look at change different, like the writing on the wall, moving with the current of change instead of against it, not staying complacent. Change is inevitable and it's going to happen one way or another, whether I like it or not, whether I'm prepared for it or not. Change is going to happen. And my favorite lesson that I learned, which you would have thought I would have learned it by now, but it's not that simple when life is lifing, is what are you going to do once your cheese is moved? I actually found myself in two of the characters in the book, and that was before I read the book. Now I have shifted my paradigm thinking. That being stated, change is inevitable for any organization, and getting ahead of the game and with the times is going to determine what makes a business more successful in their planning, which means firms are making adjustments to support change, but not just with technology, with their human resources. And I don't mean the function, I mean the asset. Today, there is more conflict than ever before, and organizations, including law firms, need to find ways to stay ahead of the game. Ways that they can support solutions, including implementing systems for resolution, especially for those law firms that can't afford detrimental exposure or legal battles that can cripple their business. Law firms need to invest in a conflict resolution professional. Since I have over 12 years of experience working in law firms and actually love it and know how to build relationships with attorneys, I have decided that there's no better industry for me to support than the legal industry, because I believe that the legal industry is ripe for establishing this fundamental element that can be critical for how law firms operate. Remember to like this video, and while you're at it, subscribe and share the video to your colleagues and friends.